first organ which damaged so much is the brain. Got it? What happens actually in the brain as we are growing, our brain also becomes old. Slowly it's become old. It loses the connections between one neuron to the another neuron. That is referred as a neural plasticity. And you know that due to this amazing phenomenon called as the neuroplasticity, we can remember the things. So if your eyes get too much, you can say light, okay, it will affect your other higher systems, okay. Basically the occipital lobe, which is concerned with the vision phenomenon. If you are a student, you have to finish your task. So during the exam time, you can you can wake up till the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it doesn't matter actually. But for generally, you have to take basically a quality of sleep. Quality of sleep refers basically that once you slept and you wake up, you have the enough energy to do your day-to-day tasks or work. And Swami Vivekananda quoted this in a very nice way, and he said that people start choosing the spiritual pathway after, you can say, doing all these things, after getting bored from all these things in the old stage, when they don't have the energy to actually spend the time. So it's better, if you're talking about the spirituality, then it's better to start practicing once you have the enough knowledge, or it basically touches you. In old person, you can say actually what is happening with their brain, with their other body function. So it's my humble request that whenever you get the old person, try to behave politely, okay, talk sweetly. Hello friends, it's a pleasure to have you back on the channel of Clinical Care Insight. In our today's podcast, I'm going to tell you about the aging. Can we slow the aging? Aging is something which is natural, which is basically a part of our lifespan. Okay, so in our today's podcast, we are going to discuss about what is the meaning of aging, okay, and what are the physiological changes, how our body responds as we grow, what effects our organs have, okay. These all things we will cover in our today's podcast. So here we begin our podcast. First of all, aging is a natural process, okay, and it's a part of our lifespan. Lifespan is our natural birth from the natural death. This time span is called as the lifespan. Got it? And in this lifespan, there is a one stage where we become aged, okay, or there is something called as the old state. Fine. Now this aging process occurs, okay, differently in different people. So it is basically a specific to the every individual. The another thing about this aging process is that as we aged, okay, we welcome certain diseases, okay, and that is a fatal diseases. So mainly agings affect, if you're talking about where the aging affects in our body, in which organs. First organ which damaged so much is the brain. Got it? What happens actually in the brain as we are growing, our brain also becomes old. Slowly it's become old. It loses the connections between one neuron to the another neuron. That is referred as a neural plasticity. And you know that due to this amazing phenomenon called as the neuroplasticity, we can remember the things, we have the memory, okay. So in the old stage, there is a loss of memory, and this loss of memory is one of the characteristics of one neurodegenerative disorder that is called as the Alzheimer's disease, okay. Another organs which have the so many damage is our heart, okay. Heart have loss of certain myocardial tissue, as well as heart also started some abnormal rhythms, okay, abnormal electrical pattern, and that is referred as the arterial arrhythmias. Apart from that, aging also affect our skin, okay. Our skin start, you can say, losing the integrity, and there's one famous, you can say, theory about the aging process, and that refers as the free radicals. So as we are growing, okay, we accumulate certain the inert particles, okay, and that is referred as the radicals. These radicals are actually a free, you can say, electron containing molecule or element, okay, which start accumulating as we are growing. It's start accumulating over our skin, over our different organs, okay, and as a result we loses some of the vital functions for about the skin. We loses the hydration of the skin, we loses the integrity of the skin, even we also loses the flexibility as well as the color of the skin. Fine. Then this aging also affects our immune system. As we are growing, okay, we start, you can say, suppressing our immune system. Not voluntarily we are suppressing, it's our physiological process, okay, which don't allow our immune system to function well. and just because due to the accumulation of certain particles, okay, or due to the environmental factor. When we will describe about how you can slow down the aging process, okay, there we have the detailed discussion about the environmental factor. Got it? Now the another organ which affects, you can say, very much is our liver, or you can say the whole GIT. Fine. So GIT also start working slowly, their muscles, okay, GIT muscles is start, you can say, slow movement, and that's why in the old stage a person have the constipation and the other digestive related problems. Now once we understand about that what changes occur actually in the aging process, now let's move ahead and just discuss that this aging process can it will measured. Okay, we have any device that can measure the aging process, or a person can go in a laboratory, or they can find out about their, you can say, the organ age? Yes. So there is a one scientist which is working on the Stanford University named Dr. Tony Weiss Corey, who studies brain aging and neurodegeneration at Stanford University. And it's likened to say that we can measure the aging process just by checking certain proteins in the blood plasma. Okay, so scientists discovered one speedometer, okay, that measures our organ age. Okay, and this speedometer work on, you can say, measuring certain protein in our blood. So if you have the routine examination of these proteins, okay, you can understand the biological age of your organ. Also you can understand that in which state how organ will function, okay, which is the best, you can say, performance of organs. And there is a famous psychologist who quoted one sentence, and that sentence is, how old would you be if you don't know how old you are? अगर आपको पता नहीं है कि आप कितने साल के पहले थे, तो अभी आप कितने साल के, if you don't know your basically the chronological age, you don't have idea about your age. And this sentence, it shows that age is not something limiting in our personality. Okay, it's not something which, you can say, limit our cognitive function, which can limit our performance. Okay, age is basically a changes in the physiological process, also in the psyche, in our mind. Okay, as our other body organs start, you can say, functioning slower or getting the old, our mind, okay, our emotions, okay, these all things start altering. And there are certain, you can say, the psychologists who given the amazing theories about this aging process. And in the, you can say, once the people goes in a late phase of their life, okay, in their 60s, 70s, or you can say the 90s, and then they have the sense of fulfillment, or either they have the sense of, you can say, the guilt, the depression. Fine. So it depends upon the psyche, the personality of a person. Now leave these things and come to the point that this aging process, as I said, that it is a different in different people. Means, suppose you can take the example, you have the two friends, okay, and you both went to the lab and test your, you can say, the blood, those proteins which determine basically the biological age of your organs. Okay, and you will surprise that one of your friend, okay, they have, you can say, less damage in their kidney, okay, and you have the more damage in your kidney. Fine. So this aging process is different in different individuals, and as I said, that it depends upon the environment. Okay, it depends upon the quality of food you are taking, it depends upon how you are thinking. These all things, and your physical activity, these all things, okay, basically shape your aging process. Fine. Understand? Now once we understand about that what actually aging is, okay, and how it's affect our body, and is can we measure, then of course we can measure by certain, you can say, the blood examination. Although it's a recent research, it's not, you can say, widely available, but soon it will available on the lab. Got it? No problem. Now the another thing which is, you can say, worth to discuss is that how can you slow down your aging process? That's what we come here to discuss. How can you slow down the aging process? You can slow down. Of course you can slow down by changing your diet pattern, by, you can say, engaged in certain physical activity, okay, by doing certain, you can say, the spiritual practices, you can slow down. So this slow down aging process is you can say different in different age peoples. Now starting from the teenagers, where most of the, you can say, the youth are. So this in this teen stage, in this very moment, you have to take certain precautions, okay, in your day-to-day life. Okay, you have to take some, you can say, the specific kind of food. You also have to, you can say, engaged in certain physical activity. It might be your hobbies, it may be your, you can say, the sports, singing, or anything which not only maintain your physical fitness, also maintain your mental fitness. Okay, and along with all these changes in the dietary changes and engaging in the physical activity, okay, you have also, you can say, restrict or limit on certain, you can say, the foods. You have to restrict the added sugars. You have to restrict the, you can say, the bad fat. Okay, instead of getting the bad fat, you can take the unsaturated fatty acid containing foods. Okay, fish is something which is recommended for all the age. Okay, it can be recommended in the teenage, it can be recommended, okay, in the old age persons, because certain you can say fishes, they contain the omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, and these omega-3 fatty acids are brain nutrient. Actually, it's help your brain to function in optimum level. Okay, it's help you can say, the your brain to channelize properly, or make the, you can say, tightened connection between the one neuron and another neuron. After that, you have the strong memory. Okay, you have the strong memory. Now, talking about which food you have to restrict. Okay, you have to, as I said, you have to restrict the added sugar. Okay, you have to restrict in the teen age, you have to restrict the caffeines. Okay, or you can say the other cold drinks. Fine. You also have to restrict your screen time. Spending the prolonged time, okay, on the screen, it can, you can say, not only damage your retina, because you know that the retinal connections is directly you can say connected with your higher system, your brain. Okay, so if your eyes get too much, you can say, light, okay, it will affect your other higher systems. Okay, basically the occipital lobe, which is concerned with the vision phenomenon. Fine. Now, the another thing which you have to restrict is the narcotic drugs. Of course, the narcotic drugs are not meant for using in the teenage. Okay, you have to restrict all these things. Fine. And you have to take the enough sleep. So generally in the teenage, it's advised to take 9 to 10 hours of sleep, but it depends upon the work what you are doing. If you are a student, you have to finish your task. So during the exam time, you can you can wake up till the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It doesn't matter actually. But for generally, you have to take basically a quality of sleep. Quality of sleep refers basically that once you slept and you wake up, you have the enough energy to do your day-to-day tasks or work. Now, coming to the old age, what things old person have to do in order to slow down the aging process? Fine. Then first we will talk about the dietary pattern. So for the dietary pattern, there is one open research, and that shows that you have to restrict the calories. Okay, so for in the old age person, in order to slow down the aging process, they have to restrict the calorie intake. Okay, and along with not compromising the other nutrients. Okay, other vital nutrients, you can just cut down your calories. Okay, and you can say continue to eat other nutrients. Fine. So what happened once you can say they cut down your calories intake. Once you cut down your calorie intakes, you can say the immune system, okay, it goes in certain another state where by the little interference by some, you can say, the other particles, they start reacting immediately. Okay, they start reacting immediately, and that is referred as a hemeosis. Then there is the autophagy. Once you don't have the too much nutrient inside your body, okay, then you can say your dead body cells can be easily autophaged by your macrophage. Got it? No problem. So that's why you can restrict the calories, and it's seen that once you restrict the calories, then you have the, you can say, less mass in your muscle, but your muscle have the great tone, great flexibility, great strength. Okay, that's the research, and that shows this you can say the muscle physiology changes once you cut down your calories intake. Now, the another thing about, you can say, the diet, you can take something called as the you can say cruciferous fruits like broccoli. okay. And you can take the some foods which is rich in the vitamin C as well as in vitamin E, because you need both the things. For vitamin E, it's acting like an antioxidant. Vitamin C, it's also acting like an antioxidant, and apart from that, it have the anti, you can say the anti immunogenic function, okay. It basically it will help you to encounter the microbes easily. Fine. So vitamin C and vitamin E, these things are very two vital, you can say the micronutrient which is really necessary during the you can in the aged person. No problem. Now after doing all these things, you have to you can say consume or drink. If you're talking about the behaviors, which kind of drink you have to take, then you can prefer the green tea, because green tea is actually they contain lots of antioxidant, okay. Green tea is actually a good source of antioxidant. So for antioxidant, why you need antioxidant more? Then as I said, that there is one theory called as the free radical theory. This theory says that once you get aged, okay, your body slowly start accumulating the free radicals, okay. So in order to clearance of these you can say the free radicals, you have to take the antioxidant, okay, so that you have the good skin, you can say integrity, you have the lightening in your face, okay, you have the you can say good strength in your hairs. Fine. So these all things, this vitamin E or called as antioxidants or green tea helps you to maintain all these things. And at last, during the aged, you can say during the aging, you have to also restrict, you can say the physical activity. You don't need to take too much burden, because you already did your best, okay. Now you have to either you can say no, that there is something called as once you get older, then you will choose the spiritual pathway, okay. But you know that during the age, you can say the old stage, you don't have so much energy, so you can spend in the pathway of spirituality, okay. So this spiritual is something, and Swami Vivekananda quoted this in a very nice way. And he said that people start choosing the spiritual pathway after, you can say, doing all these things, after getting bored from all these things in the old stage, when they don't have the energy to actually spend the time. So it's better, if you're talking about the spirituality, then it's better to start practicing once you have the enough knowledge, or it's basically touches your mind. Fine. Now, so the thing is, the main thing is that during the you can say the old age, you have to take a specific kind of, you can say, precautions about your diet, okay, about your sleep pattern, about the specific kind of, you can say, the food you have to take, cut down the you can say beverages, the added sugars, okay, and also about the alcohols, okay. Your liver is now no longer, you can say, younger, it gets old, so you have to cut down also your, you can say, the alcohol quantity. Fine. Now, so let's conclude today's our podcast. Basically, we discussed about the aging process, that it's actually a natural process, a part of lifespan, okay. And it is, you can see, it varies, okay, in different peoples. And then we also we are also understood that what physiological changes actually occurring once as we are growing, what actually you can say physiological changes is occurring in our body. We also discussed that this aging process can be measured, okay. It can be measured by certain you can say the specific protein analysis in our body. And we also discussed that for, you can say, slow down the aging process, for the teenagers there is you can say different precautions to take, and in old age there is a different precautions to take. And also at the last, the main motto is that now you have the basic idea that during the, you can say, the aging process, what losses we have, okay. And in old person, you can say actually what is happening with their brain, with their other body function. So it's my humble request that whenever you get the old person, try to behave politely, okay, talk sweetly. Fine. So thank you with having me. Bye. Have a nice day.